Quest accepted. Wait, where are we going?
So this is going to be a different kind of video. It's been about a month since I decided that I wanted to make Pokemon like my whole thing. So I figured that now would be a great time to kind of look back at my journey so far, kind of revisit some Pokemon that I like to play, and kind of just like discuss like what the future of this type of content is on my channel, how I feel about it, and I don't know, I figured it'd be cool to kind of take the script away for a little bit and just kind of like talk at the viewers, at you guys in particular. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have too many plans besides that. Big thing to make note of is today is the last day of the ranked season, and we did it. We did end up achieving our goal of hitting Master Ball tier, even if it is the lowest rank of Master Ball tier, which is rank 4. I didn't plan to hit champion right away, but to say that I got to Master Ball tier on the very first regulation sets, regulation MA, feels really good. It felt really great. I wish I would have gotten it on recording. I was in a Discord call with my friends while I was playing. I was frustrated. I was trying to lab stuff out. I'll probably put some random gameplay footage up, but eventually I went on a little bit of a win streak. I think I still have the win streak because I have yet to touch double battles since I hit Master Ball tier. But yeah, and the thing is, right, I got to Master Ball tier playing a very different team than I've showcased on the channel so far. In fact, it was a Pokemon team that a friend of mine helped put together. This is it here. All the Pokemon are nicknamed after League of Legends champions. I don't know if that's a red flag or if that's cool or whatever. You can let me know in the comment section down below. But it is a very different team. Just kind of like flying by everything. We're running Serena. Serena is one of my favorite Pokemon. I loved playing with her in Pokemon Sun and Moon. And ever since then, I've kind of always tried to find a way to weasel her onto like regular playthroughs of like Pokemon main series games. Just a fun mon. In Champions in particular, Queenly Majesty is just an amazing ability. Being able to turn off priority moves in a world where Sucker Punch and Fake Out exists is just so nice. And people just don't respect it. They see her and they think that I'm some kind of gooner Pokemon trainer who's just trying to play like a waifu-coded Lopunny type Pokemon. They go for the fake out on something scary looking like my Blastoise or who else? Scizor or Komodo, and then they get hit with the little Queenly Majesty goes Keck W. No thank you. She's also an incredible attacker. Having access to things like high jump kick, power whip, and triple axle in particular are just incredible. She's kind of become my favorite Pokemon in this game just from her utility alone. I love that she has kind of like a special place in the meta game. And I've enjoyed playing with her. In fact, I think in every single game that I've won so far, Serena has been the Pokemon that I led with. Yeah, Triple Axle, amazing. It chops Garchomps. It absolutely ruins Dragonites and anything that has a dragon typing. Power Whip is an incredibly strong move. I got really close to OHKOing on my Milotic one time. I think it lived on like 1% HP and that really pissed me off. But hey, this Pokemon is just meant to be a threat and provide like this AoE aura of like, you need to address me or else something is going to die. Since double battles are a 2 Pokemon game, there's a numerous amounts of Pokemon in this team that you can kind of set up with Serena. And one of those Pokemon is Blastoise. I really enjoyed playing Mega Blastoise back in Generation 5 when Megas were like first like a thing, but I played Blastoise kind of like in a really dumb way. Like little kid me gave my Mega Blastoise Rain Dance, and I would just click like, I don't know, like Hydro Cannon or something. This Blastoise does a little bit more than that, right? It's a special attack, kind of bulky, It's not necessarily a sweeper, but it does help against literally anything in the metagame. It has Dark Pulse for Synesthesia. It has Aqua Jet because we need some kind of water stab move. And since I don't have any kind of trick room on this team, having that priority is kind of nice. Did you know that Blastoise learns Fake Out? I didn't. I found out today that, well, not today. I found out a couple days ago that Blastoise learns Fake Outs. And that's kind of amazing because on the off chance that Blastoise is swapped in and let's say Serena's gone, so now we don't have that priority block, people never expect Blastoise to click Fake Out. Never. And it is so awesome. Aura Sphere is amazing for dealing with threats like King Gambit and Archaludon. And I mean, again, with Mega Launcher, it's way more powerful than if it were just like a traditional Aura Sphere. So great mon all around. A Pokemon I wasn't super like sure about originally was Heliolisk. I really like this Pokemon. It's incredibly fast and has a really high special attack stat. But my Heliolisk is kind of gimmicky in a way. It has the ability Dry Skin, which is really nice if the rain is set up. You'll notice that my team doesn't necessarily have a range setter. With weather literally existing everywhere, we kind of take Dry Skin to take advantage of the fact that rain is everywhere, which is great. And with that rain being everywhere, we can kind of put Pokemon like Pelipper on Threat Watch, right? We threaten it with a T-Bolt, and that's really scary. With 177 special attack, it's almost guaranteed to kill even the bulkiest of Pelippers. But the real gimmick of this Pokemon, right, is Ally Switch. We pair Heliolisk with Pokemon like Blastoise, Pokemon like Komodo, and the whole idea is that Heliolisk can get hit by a lot of different things and just kind of live. This Heliolisk in particular is focus sashed, so like it's never truly under threat of dying in one hit. You ally switch to swap in to tank the hit so that Pokemon like Komodo can click something like Clangorous Soul and get its big, humongous buff off without the threat of getting hit. Other than that, Hyper Voice is really good, and its stab, we like spread stab moves, and nothing. Helios is just a cool Pokemon. Speaking of cool Pokemon, I'm also running Scizor. Scizor is so great at dealing with all of the fairy threats in the game right now, because a Technician Bullet Punch goes crazy, right? And it's always been that way, right? A priority boosted Technician Bullet Punch from a Mega Scizor with 200 base attack in its base form goes crazy. The only thing I'm not running on this Scizor set is Swords Dance. I opted to do Brick Break because currently, when this video releases, Sableye is kind of everywhere, and Sableye loves setting those rinky-dink little screens, and my team has a really hard time with screens. Brick Break helps us get through those screens by, if you didn't know, removing them. It literally chops through the screen and makes it so that we can hit again for full value. One thing I didn't know is that Brick Break doesn't get affected by the screen when it goes out, so it always hits for whatever damage it was going to do, it is going to come through. So yeah, Scizor, very cool Pokemon. Bug Bite is just a good move to have with Technician because it's 60 power, but it also has like the double effect of right now there's not a lot of items in the game. I really hope when the second season starts, maybe they add like a couple more items. But even if they don't, Bug Bite still gets crazy value because there's berries everywhere. Every team is running at least one berry, whether it's a pinch berry or like a citrus berry. Bug Bite always kind of gets some kind of like value, and I kind of like that. But I mean, again, the real reason you run Bug Bite is because it is 60 power and it does get boosted by Technician, which, if you didn't know, boosts the power by 50% if the power is 60 or less. X Scissor is a move that Scizor gets, but again, X Scissor I think is 80 power, and that's too much for the Technician threshold, so it's just kind of best in slot. A Pokemon that I begrudgingly put on this team, but I kind of have to put on this team, is Incineroar. You know, the Wolf Glick Incineroar. So cool, so great. It's the most generic Incineroar we've ever seen. Maybe its stat spread is a little bit different. Like, my Incineroar is spec'd to be faster than base speed Incineroar, have crazy attack, and a decent amount of bulk. It's supposed to kill things. This Incineroar is supposed to go out, hit Intimidate on everything, and then click Flare Blitz on something that I need gone, and it should just, it should evaporate. And that's kind of great. Things like Throat Chop are really great, especially with Pokemon like Furro running around and Sylveon running around. Also Kommo-o, it just makes Hyper Voice and Clangorous Soul, or Clangorous Scales, I think it is, basically useless, right? Parting Shot's pretty standard, Fake Out's pretty standard. It's just a basic Incineroar, right? There really isn't much to say about it besides the fact that this one is shiny and it's cool. And then every good team doesn't need a dragon Pokemon, but I like to have a dragon and I wanted to start trying out new ones. Dragonite is usually my go-to, but Kommo-o has become a new favorite of mine, right? It's relatively fast, it has really high special attack, and really high HP. Why? Because it's a pseudo-legendary, right? Most dragons are pseudo-legendaries, and Kommo-o is no different. What I really like about it, right, is it has Stab or Sphere, which is awesome. Especially, remember, we had a lot of issues with Pokemon, again, like King Gambit and Archaludon, again, who's kind of going sicko mode in the meta right now. So having access to a Stab or Sphere when we need it, it's really, really nice. Everything else about this Pokemon is kind of like its unique gimmick. Again, Clangorous Soul it uses a third of its HP to boost all of its stats. All of its stats. It's an Omni boost, and it's super, super great. The problem is, right, it uses its HP to give itself that boost. That's where Pokemon like Heliolisk really get their value with like Ally Switch and whatnot. Again, Kommo-o can take a hit. It's not like it's super fragile or anything like that. But just giving us that little extra layer of safety is kind of nice. And then with its signature move, Clanging Scales, it is an AoE, 100 accuracy, 110 power dragon type move that is spread. It's really, really strong. If you hit once, things usually die. And with the boost from Clangorous Soul, it's already a +1 boosted Clanging Scales. So it really doesn't get better than that. One unique thing about this Pokemon that I really like is its ability Soundproof, which basically means don't try to scream at him. You know, people were using Hyper Voice almost... I feel like they forget all the time that that's the ability of this Mon. Because what? There's two versions of Kommo-o running around. There's Soundproof Kommo-o, and then there's Bulletproof Kommo-o, which makes it so that he can't get hit by like Weather Ball and things like that. I feel like Bulletproof is the more popular one. Maybe? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just fall for Soundproof and I get like an extra turn to set up, and that's kind of nice. But no, that's the current team at the moment. I think they're pretty great. Again, I've yet to lose on these 6 Pokemon. That's not to say that they're perfect. I could have played into 4 or 5 like trainers who are just on a slump and I got gifted the win. But I did have one really, really close game where it was down to my last Pokemon. In fact, it was my Serena. It was a Serena versus Garchomp final stand, and I'm gonna make a really cheap looking graphic to display it. So Garchomp was like at 3/4 HP. My Serena was at, I want to say maybe like 20%. And it was a last Pokemon situation. Garchomp is with rough skin. Serena has a choice scarf. Which means whatever move I'm locked into, or whatever move I pick when it comes out, is the move I have to keep using. So my Serena is faster than this Garchomp. It's come down to I'm locked into Triple Axle because it was just the best move to use at the time. And essentially what needed to happen was if you didn't know, Triple Axel is a move that swings 3 times, like the name kind of implies. The thing is, though, it doesn't guarantee all 3 swings of the kick will connect. In fact, you can hit just the first part, and then the second 2 swings don't come out at all, and then that's it. So we were in a situation where Serena needs to hit all 3 swings of this kick to KO the Garchomp and ensure that we got the win. In fact, this was the match right before my rank up into Master Ball, so it was really, really intense for me. Serena goes for the kick. We're guaranteed to go first because we know this Garchomp isn't scarfed. We hit the first Axel kick. It does a good chunk of damage. Rough Skin procs. Serena's health drops. We get the second kick. It does even more damage because the damage ramps up. It goes 20, 40, 60 in its power scaling. Rough Skin procs again, and Serena lives with like 2 or 3 HP. It's like astronomically low. If the third kick doesn't connect, we automatically lose. And on a 90 accuracy move, the third swing does connect. We do KO the Garchomp, and the Rough Skin then KOs Serena right after. But the way it works is the first Pokemon to faint loses. So since Serena fainted second, I was granted the win and I got the promotion to Master Ball, and it was really, really cool. But again, I really like this Pokemon. I really like my whole team. They're great. I'll probably show them off in a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I really don't have a plan for this video. But that's not to say that the original team is gone. They're a little different. I did modify it a little bit while I was trying to figure out what kind of trainer I wanted to be after my big Festival of Champions experience, which, if you haven't watched that video, watch it. It was a great time. Even though, spoilers, I didn't win the whole thing, I did battle some really cool trainers, and I feel like I had a great time. I wanted to win more battles. I wanted to qualify to make a deeper run, but I think it's still a worthwhile watch. That team served me super, super well. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can pull up most of those Pokemon here. Like my Rotom-Mow, really loved this Pokemon. I think it still has a place in the metagame right now. Things like Leaf Storm are just so great. This Rotom-Mow is so great on hating on specifically Rotom-Wash, and I will die on that hill. I feel like I'm not really alone in hating Rotom-Wash. If you hate Rotom-Wash too, sound off in the comment section down below. But no, I think this Mon is great. It's also great into things like Garchomp and other physical attacking Pokemon. Will-O-Wisp is so great. I wish it had a higher accuracy. I wish it was 90. But then again, I also like when other people's Will-O-Wisp miss. So maybe it's good at 85. Things like Basculegion are so good. I love this Pokemon. I hate that it's so loud when it yells. It makes editing any kind of clip with Basculegion in it really annoying. But I really like this Pokemon. It's everywhere right now for obvious reason. It's really strong. At the time I was running adaptability Basculegion. I've since then switched back to Swift Swim, and I don't know if I super love it. I mean, I've opted to switch its nature from Jolly to Adamant so that we get that extra attack. But now it's really reliant on the rain being set up because I got rid of its Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf is really nice, but sometimes I really, really disliked the fact that I was kind of locked into one move when Basculegion has options. He has options, right? But cool Pokemon. Another really, really cool Pokemon that you kind of see everywhere now. I kind of talked about him a little bit prior. Pelipper. Pelipper's super great. I super enjoy the Wide Guard tech, but I feel like everybody's kind of picked up on Wide Guard now. So now it's not nearly as good anymore, but people are still kind of just like throwing 2 Rock Slide Pokemon out and clicking Rock Slide, and they don't really care. They see that it's a super effective move on Pelipper, and that's all they really care about. So we do still get some value out of it. Weather Ball's nice because weather's literally everywhere. That's always how it is in these like lower power formats. Hurricane's great when there's weather. When there's not, I mean, it's not as great, but Pelipper's always been designed, at least on my teams, to be more of a supportive mon, except for that one era where Pelipper was like a demon. What you'll notice is it doesn't have Hydro Pump anymore. Hydro Pump let me down too many times that I went right back to using Weather Ball. Or was it Protect? I don't remember. Regardless, I really like Pelipper still. I'll still probably play this team. Just, you know, I'm having a lot of fun with this team right now, so this one's probably going to take the back foot, which means having to bench Pokemon like my own Archaludon. Really like this Pokemon. I really liked my version of Archaludon. Not that it was too different from the traditional Archaludon in the beginning. You know, Electroshock shenanigans in the rain is fun. Hitting Draco Meteor on things and watching them explode is fun. Flash Cannon, absolutely obliterating fairy type Pokemon is great. And then Aura Sphere is a move I wish I had originally put on him. Right, I was opting for Protect because of course we play VGC. VGC means every Pokemon gets Protect unless they have a Scarf. And Archaludon, of course, really likes having Protect, despite him being relatively tanky. But I kept running into the same issue of Pokemon like Kingambit, and I keep bringing him up. He's like the boogeyman. I hate Kingambit. Cringe Gambit, really, is what I should be calling him. I kept running into the issue where Cringe Gambit would be the last Pokemon alive, and I had no easy way to kill him because I didn't have access to like good fighting type moves, or any, to be honest. You can't really low kick him. It doesn't do nearly enough damage. But an Aura Sphere goes crazy because Kingambit has like no special defense. Archaludon did pivot to add that to his repertoire, if you will. I'm definitely looking forward to trying it more when I give this team like another revisit. As you can see, I don't want to say I got desperate, but the demons did take over for a little bit. And I did consider playing Sneasler. My Sneasler is very, very generic. I think the only thing I'm running that people probably aren't running on every single Sneasler is I wanted to try Poison Touch. It's just really great. If you hit Fake Out is a contact move. Poison Touch activates, which is a 30% chance to poison something when you hit it. I think those odds are pretty great. Unburdened Sneasler is really nice. But I just gave mine a Focus Sash and I was like, let's just try to be really annoying, set up a ton of Toxic, and kind of like make sure that my opponent can't play the long game. I've yet to really experiment with it too much. There were some people in the tournaments, Festival of Champions, who were playing this variation of Sneasler, and we're pretty successful, so I mean, that's pretty good. Rock Slide's also a really good move. Editor, Furro, pull back to when I said everybody's playing Rock Slide, Keck W.
Throwing 2 Rock Slide Pokemon out and clicking Rock Slide, and they don't really care.
Yeah, not much else to say about Sneasler. Another Pokemon that I was considering playing because the demons got too dang loud in my head was Aerodactyl, right? Aerodactyl's the premier Tailwind setter in the game right now. It's so goddamn fast. Hits kind of like a truck, especially if it Mega Evolves, and this particular Aerodactyl does Mega Evolve. I probably was planning to put Ice Fang on it. I don't know why I don't have Ice Fang on it. I mean, it's fine. It's this Pokemon, I just don't really feel like playing it. I feel like I was building one out of like necessity, but the necessity wasn't actually real. It was just like, again, kind of like you see it everywhere. It makes you upset that you see it everywhere. You're like, maybe I'll play it. And I put it together and then immediately kind of abandoned him. Speaking of Pokemon that I abandoned, right? We have Tinkaton. Realistically, I did not abandon Tinkaton. Alright, Tinkaton is just like... Tinkaton's a really cool Pokemon where like I feel like I could do anything with them. But I also feel like Tinkaton is suffering from the whole like, if this Pokemon could have a fifth attacking move, if it could have 5 moves, Tinkaton would literally be the best Pokemon ever, right? It's a fairy steel type. It reminds me so much of a Pokemon that I remember from not that long ago. Ever heard of him? Zacian? Yeah, kind of a big deal. Gigaton Hammer is so great into things like Mega Meganium, into Gardevoir, into Mega Floette. So good. I hate that I can't click it twice in a row if it hits a protect. But maybe that's a good thing. The real shining star about this Tinkaton that I super loved and I kind of miss already is being able to spam feint on people who are like terrified of getting hit by stuff. Being able to have priority too to move before fake out was so nice. And then more so, the fact that it broke through protect made it such a cool mind game to have like with an opponent. Protect is also really cool. Or not protect, fake out. Fake out's just a good move to have. Protect super great. And then Mold Breaker was also great. Dealing with Pokemon, I didn't really have to deal with it too much. But like Mimikyu, right? Mimikyu and its stingy little Pikachu disguise. Tinkaton just clicks Gigaton Hammer on it and it explodes because it ignores the disguise ability. Super crazy interaction. Never have the chance to really see it in action, but it was great. Super great. Especially since Trick Roomons are still kind of everywhere. Another Pokemon that I'm going to miss playing, but I probably will revisit at some point, is Glimmora, specifically Mega Glimmora. I really like this Pokemon. I hate that I feel like its typing is really bad. Rock Poison just doesn't seem to be very good, at least right now. Like, Glimmora just has a really hard time doing anything. That being said, I will eventually revisit this Pokemon. I might make like a singles team and do like a Glimmora Toxapex, like super bunker holds type of cringe squad or something. I'm not entirely sure yet, but we had some good times. I really like this mon. Again, I will definitely revisit it at some point, but for right now, Glimmora is sitting firmly on the bench, and that's probably where it's gonna stay. And speaking of Pokemon who have been sitting on the bench since day one, I'm so sorry, Jolts. It's been a while, right? When I first decided that I wanted to be a Pokemon master, that I wanted to be the very best like no one ever was, I wanted to have my own Ash Ketchum type Pikachu sitting on my shoulder or running along beside me. And that Pokemon for me has always been Jolteon. I can't tell you how hard I tried to make this Pokemon like realistically usable, but it's just, gosh, it just doesn't do it. It's a cute little support mon. I even like kind of fiddled with its moveset a little bit. I gave it Rain Dance on the off chance that, like, you know, we're playing around Mega CharY. But the problem is, right, it just doesn't live. My specific Jolteon is bulkier than like usual. Nobody builds Jolteon like this, but it just, I don't know. It needed too much to be good, but I really do like Jolteon. Jolteon is still my favorite Pokemon. So I will find a way eventually. Maybe it just turns into like a full special sweeper, you know, full special attack, full speed, and we just go from there. It's so sad to see him sit in the box. I want him to be up front with me. Up front fighting the good fight. But for now, Jolteon sits there. But yeah. Pokemon Champions. I still have dreams of going even higher than Master Ball, right? The real goal of mine is to someday hit Champion Tier. Champion Tier, I believe, is the top 300 players in the world, and that's kind of a hard metric to realistically fathom, right? Like, just putting it in perspective, I'm Master Ball rank 4, which is the bottom of Master Ball, and I'm rank, what is that? 153,720. Like, I can't even imagine being in a room with that many people. There's so many people who are higher ranked than me right now. The skill of people playing this game is insane. But just like anything, if you were the best right away, then like, what would even be the point? If I was top 1,000 right now, that'd be crazy. I'd be really impressed in my ability to play video games. But you know what? I kind of like the journey. And that's like part of the reason why I decided to do this whole thing to begin with, right? The journey is fun. I love the struggle. I love being afraid to lose. I love sitting down and coming up with different strategies on how I want to achieve these goals that I have. And kind of showcasing that on the YouTube channel has been a lot of fun. So I really appreciate all the views, all the likes, all the comments, all of the encouragement that I've been getting, both from friends on the channel and offline as well. Pokemon is just super fun. I'm having a blast with Champions, and I realistically can't wait to play even more once this next season rolls around. I'm definitely going to be trying to put out more content on the channel. I know, more content when I'm only uploading really like once and streaming once a week. The goal is always to do more. I want to let you guys know that I'm always striving to want to do more. Some weeks are a little harder than others, but know that my heart is always in the right place. This is what I'm very excited to be doing, and I'm gonna keep striving for it. One thing I really want to do more, besides like uploading more and things like that, is I want to enter more tournaments. Festival of Champions was so much fun. Was it way out of my depth? Absolutely. But I'm definitely going to try to make it a goal of mine to enter at least one tournament a month, at minimum, of any size. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. Maybe the next time it'll be like a creator cup or something, you know? I am a VTuber at the end of the day, and VTubers love putting themselves up against other VTubers. So maybe I'll find a group of people to do that kind of thing with, or I'll participate in like a showdown event or something like that. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I will make an effort to try to find tournaments to enter. And hey, if you find a tournament that you think would be interesting to enter, let me know. You can let me know in the comments. You can let me know on my Discord server. Hell, you can tag me on Twitter if you really want to, or send me an email if you're a boomer. That works too. I check my email every single day. And yeah. I don't really know how much of this is gonna make it into the final cut. I might just leave. I've been sitting here for what, almost 46 minutes now. But this was nice. It was nice to kind of just sit down and kind of air out my thoughts about how I've been feeling doing Champions content, how I've been feeling on like my ranked grind, and kind of like my evolution as a trainer. I started playing Rain, and that's what I really love to do. Now I'm kind of not playing Weather, but I'm playing 6 Pokemon that I really like. And I think that's like the main takeaway I want people to have from this video. If you make it this far, thank you so much for watching. But no, Pokemon Champions, as much as it is a game about finding the best 6 Pokemon and playing them, Pokemon at its core has always been a game about finding Pokemon that you really like and then trying your best to get the most out of them. And I somehow have found a way, with the help of my friends. I'm never going to claim to know how to do any of this by myself. With the help of my friends, we were able to make a team of 6 Pokemon that I really like. And I can't wait to push them as hard as I can, so that I can one day maybe even touch champion tier. I was gonna do some battles, but you know what? I really want to just kind of like enjoy the rest of my day. And I hope you, the viewer, enjoy the rest of your day as well. But before I go, why not roll a Pokemon, right? Let's just roll the gacha for fun before the video ends. I feel like that'll be nice. I still have yet to get a shiny on this game, so like this would be like the best time for a shiny to show up. No, still nothing. Still absolutely nothing. Yeah, Aromatisse. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and cheers to more content in the future. See you all in Season 2 of Pokemon Champions. Take care. Bye!